This is Kat Sturtz from rockingyourpath.com with another episode of Fast Action Fridays. Today, my special guest is Maureen Ross Gemme, spelled Gemme. So I had to check with her to pronounce it correctly. But what a great last name to have, Gemme.
Thank you.
We both love gems and gemstones. Maureen's a personality expert and has lots of experience working with leaders and helping them make sure they maintain their self-care when they are focused on helping those they lead. So welcome to the show, Maureen. Can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Thank you so much for having me, Kat. Yes, I am a personality expert, and I work with people who are in recovery from drugs and alcohol to help them create a better career for themselves. The name of my company is called Emerge Leadership Academy, and I have been training leaders in corporate for many years. I spent 27 years in corporate, and I left there in 2013 and developed this company. But in 2020, of course, I had to shift from all this classroom training I was doing, and I've now created a digital course specifically designed to help people who are in recovery. It's called Recovery at Work, because I believe that all of the things that we've learned in recovery really help us to be better leaders. It doesn't just have to be in title, like if you're a supervisor or manager, but it can be in your relationships, like inner leadership within yourself, and also in your community, in your family, and certainly at work.
That's one aspect of how we help others that we do similarly. I'm a business life mentor because I believe a lot of the times what's bothersome in our business is rooted in a problem in our daily life and vice versa. And even if you're not a leader of other people, we still need to be a leader of ourselves and how we make our choices in response and the responsibilities we accept for those choices, correct?
Oh, yes. I believe that really inner leadership and self-management and self-reflection and self-growth leads to personal growth and work career growth and all of that. So it's so important to dig first within, and then you can help other people. So I say develop self and then develop others.
Now, before we get into some of the self-care tips we're going to cover today, I was intrigued with something you shared with me, and that is the 4 types of leadership personalities. Is that it?
Yes, that's correct. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that. I am a partner with Wiley & Sons Everything Disc. So I'm an authorized partner with them, and I have access to these assessments, and you take a 20-minute online assessment, and it will give you like a 20-page report all about your personality at work. And there's 4 distinct sort of quadrants, if you will. And yes, sometimes we are in the middle of one quadrant or another, but they are just to simply help you to understand your personality, your preferences, your motivators, and the things that really stress you out or motivate you at work. So the 4 are, the DISC stands for DISC, and the D is dominance. Now, I will mention right now, too, if you're interested after you hear this little understanding or introduction, and you want to know what animal best represents your leadership style, you can go to my website at emergeleadershipacademy.com and take a quiz. And that quiz will give you a small excerpt after 7 questions of what your personality is or which quadrant you fall into. And it really is amazing how accurate you can pinpoint your personality. So the D stands for dominance, and these are folks that want immediate results with things. They're very motivated to get results. They take action. They love challenging themselves, and they love challenging others. And they're motivated by power and authority, and they can, they're very competitive. They want to win and succeed, and they can sometimes step on other people's toes along the way because their goal is to get the product out and to get it done fast and efficient and reach their goals. The influencer, that's the I style, their priorities are enthusiasm. They also are fast action takers, but they also really enjoy working with people, where not so much on the D's. They want to get things done, but the I's love working with people. They're very enthusiastic. They also love collaboration. And so they want to get everyone on the team. They're great at building teams, very friendly, affable, and they're always having a good time. Sometimes they can get off agenda quite easily as well. The S stands for steadiness. And I didn't say the animals yet. Maybe I'll tell you that after. But the S stands for steadiness in the disc. And these are the folks that are super, also collaborative, but very supportive, very empathetic, and they are calm and methodical. They're like, you've heard that analogy of the duck swimming across the water so calm and peacefully, but underneath their feet are going like crazy. That's your S. They get shit done, if you will, right? They really are very supportive, but they're one of the ones that don't know how to say no so much. They always say yes. They want to help everyone. They want to maintain harmony and stability. And so that's where they are. And the last one is a C. That's conscientiousness style. These are your folks whose priorities are ensuring accuracy. They're super quality focused. These are your like engineer and project manager types. They have systems and processes for everything, but they're more introverted in nature and thoughtful and deep. They get super focused on what it is that they're doing. And they're motivated by opportunities to gain knowledge and really have that attention to quality.
I've been introduced to DISC types before. And what I personally find interesting is that there are other types of ways to describe 4 different types of things when it comes to our personality. There's the dressing your truth types,
I
1
love
through
that.
4. There, a friend of mine, Sean Driscoll, who's a great business coach, has her trailblazer quotient and to find out what type you are. And I've always found that if you dig into these, they mesh, they overlap really well. Another one with the 4 has to do with like astrology or numerology. And I very seldom find conflicts in there. You can usually find where they mesh together. And it's not so much discovering, well, let me put this another way. It's never about discovering what's wrong with you. It's all about discovering who you are so you can make the best decisions in your life for success based on your inherent personality, right?
Absolutely. And the thing is, when you are first this is really, really good stuff for people who are like in their 20s and just learning about who they are so you can own your truth and really, grasp a hold of that. But it's not meant to pigeonhole you in any way or hold you back. So you'll find that as we grow and mature, whether it's at work or just in life, that we will expand out into these other areas. So for example, I am an influencer and I'm like way off the charts. I always test really outside the line almost. And the opposite of my style is C, conscientiousness, because I don't care or want to care so much about the detail. But that doesn't mean, for example, that I'm not quality conscious. Like I've learned to really have to be. When you're an instructor, I'm a leadership trainer, you have so much to do just to make sure that every handout is right, that the agenda is accurate, that you have your timings all set. You have to be right on the mark with everything and make sure quality is super high. And so I've learned over time to be super quality conscious, but that's not a normal, natural way for me to be. But when I was in my 20s, I really got into personality types. So I know all about the Myers-Briggs personality. I'm an expert in that as well as the Enneagram. But I loved Carol, what's her last name? Dress Your Truth. I read her book.
Tuttle.
Carol Tuttle. Oh, that was so great. That does follow very much with the DISC philosophy. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Now, if you are watching this interview or if you are listening, be sure to go to rockingyourpath.com or look in the show notes and you will have a link to take the quiz that Maureen has mentioned that will help you find out what animal best represents your DISC personality. So you mentioned earlier that each of the letters in the DISC personality type corresponds with an animal type. You want to briefly mention what those animals are?
Sure. So let's start with the I, this very affable, enthusiastic person who's probably talks too much and is very social and gregarious. What animal would you associate with that? I'm going to ask you to guess.
Oh, I would say like a chimpanzee or a magpie bird or parrot.
That's good. That's good. Both of them are. I chose the dolphin because the dolphin is very family centric and always wants to be with the gang and chatty. Okay, the steadiness or the S is I chose the Saint Bernard because they are loyal, they come to the rescue, they won't leave you, they're very warm and affectionate. And even though I am a recovering alcoholic and drug addict and I work with people in recovery, we choose to put like green tea in the brandy bottle instead of but yeah, the Saint Bernard brings the brandy. And then the conscientiousness animal is the beaver because they are, the beaver leader is really on top of systems. They're very engineer specific. They build, great systems and processes. And the D, what animal do you think is always driving after the goal, moving forward with determination and relentlessness?
Oh, I would think it's got to be some type of cat that's got a laser focus to what they want.
Ooh, you're very close. So I chose the wolf.
Okay.
Right? Because they go after what they want. They definitely keep people in line, their pack in line as they're doing it, but they do everything for the pack, right? They're always coming back and bringing the how do you say, the spoils or the riches, back to the pack to serve the pack. Yeah.
That's great. That's interesting. I was sure you were going to say elephant on the one, but I can see.
Which one?
Not the one before the beaver.
The Saint Bernard.
The Saint Bernard. Yep.
Okay, that's really good. I'll have to think about that.
Yeah, because they've got that herd mentality to always stay with you. You see them waiting behind. They mourn the loss. They're more obvious about mourning the loss of another member of their group and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to learn more about the elephant. I like that.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. We want to get to the tips you have because as leaders, whether we lead other people, regardless of the type we might be of a leader, or whether we are home-based solopreneurs and we lead our families and our businesses and our followers, clients, we don't always take care of ourselves real well.
Yeah, we don't, do we? We do have, we all have needs. We have different needs depending on our personality type, but we all have the same needs when it comes to the fact that we are human, right? So based on that humanity, there's certain fears that we all have and there's certain needs. And the needs that we all have the need to be certain right? We want certainty. And so in this year of COVID and all that's happened in the world, it's very difficult to have certainty. So people who strive for that all the time will feel out of control and super stressed out because they don't know what's happening next, especially if suddenly you're not working in the same place, or you have to work at home, you have to learn new software, you have to manage the kids at the same time you're trying to work. It's just crazy, right? How much uncertainty there has been in this world. And so that's a human need. The second human need, though, is variety. We all need, nobody wants to go to the same movie all the time or eat the same foods or wear the same clothes. We need variety. Some to more extremes than others, right? Some people want always to go on a different place to vacation. They always want a lot of variety. They don't stay at a job, same place very long, or they're constantly switching jobs within a company. Now that variety, you might have some of that need being met in COVID, but oftentimes you'll find, right, that we're, holy crow, now we're quarantined with the same people day in and day out. We can't go to our favorite restaurants anymore. We can't even go to the movies anymore. Well, we are now, but still, you see what I mean? Like there was a lot of problem with having any kind of variety. It was the sameness every single day. The third one is love and connection. We all need love and connection in our lives, even young children, babies, especially because, if they don't have that, they fail to thrive. That's a syndrome that they actually, and sometimes people will die, or babies will die if they don't have that love and connection. So if you have a strong need for love and connection, and suddenly you can't be around the people that you love and connect with, maybe your parents are in a assisted living facility or something and you can't see them anymore. I mean, there's a lot of different things happening here that could restrict you from getting that need met. If you are a person that lives alone, that's a difficult thing, right? We don't even get to hug our friends if we do get to see them. The fourth one is significance. Now, we all have a need for significance. Some of us have a higher need than others. If we don't have a lot of significance, yet we have a high need for it, we may do things that where we want to get more significance, that it's not so healthy for us. But there's a lot of really healthy ways to get significance too. But this is why people write books or start their own business, or go on and take on too much on their plate because they want more people to notice how capable they are. Mm-hmm. And then there's the last two are spiritual in nature. One is personal growth, and the other is contribution. How much do you give of yourself outside of yourself? Now, if you think of those six, that's certainty, uncertainty or variety, significance, love and connection, personal growth, and contribution. I would ask you to pick the two that you think you strive for the most. So if it's certainty and love and connection, for example, or certainty and significance, something like that, then you're going to find that you may not be a very happy person because you can't control everything. and if you're looking for significance outside yourself, right, then you're going to be not so happy all the time.
Yeah, I know for me, mine would be significance and variety. The fact that I have worked from a home-based office since 2007 and still valued a lot of my time home-based, even when I was in the corporate world. And before that, 25 years on the farm, that's still home-based work.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I love the variety in that, but I'm still like that, even though I'm an introvert that's changed into an ambivert, I like to feel significant. I like to feel like what I'm doing matters.
Definitely. Everybody does. That's a human need. Everybody has. We all want to provide value, right? And how you get that is you put yourself out in a different way, and you're helping a lot of people, and you can grow that over time. But I will tell you that if you want to make sure that all of your needs are getting met all the time, you want to spend your time in personal growth and contribution. because when you are personally growing and you are giving, doing the contribution thing, you will get certainty, you will get variety, you will get significance, you'll get love and connection. It just happens that way because they're byproducts of doing those things.
That makes perfect sense. And part of the foundation for me starting Fast Action Fridays to begin with, though I wouldn't have ever described it in the way that you did. But why I started this program and why I continue it supports all those things that you just said and provides those things for me.
Perfect.
I can easily see how the different personality types need to recognize their best way of manifesting or getting each of these needs for themselves, supporting each of these needs for themselves happens a little bit differently. What do you think people get wrong most if they're a particular type? Or perhaps there's a good tip you could give for each of the personality types of what to look, just like you did for me.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is, when you really know who you are, and you sometimes don't even get that. You really know until you're like in your late 30s, right? When you stop having to.
Or 60s.
Right? So some of our clients are much older when they realize, oh my gosh, the kids are gone. Who the hell am I? What do I want to do with myself? How do I reinvent myself? What do I want to do with my next life, right? Mm-hmm. I happen to have had a major transformation in my 20s. So I was able to get it early in life. And that's why, and then now I'm more of a personal growth junkie than I am, anything else. But what I would say is that as soon as you recognize, are you an introvert or an extrovert, you can start doing things to support that in yourself. Because our world, unfortunately, it's so extroverted and it's constantly, well, you got to get out there, you got to be more friendly, you got to be more adventurous, you got to be this, you got to be that. And really, so if you know that you're an introvert, give yourself permission to slow down, to take that time for yourself, to say no to events that you know are going to drain you, and to take time to recharge your batteries and stay connected to yourself. Mm-hmm. Because that internal processing is so important. So and then for the extroverts, that would be, make sure you have time with other people in your schedule. Ask for more friendships, develop more friendships, spread yourself out a little bit more, because that's what gives you energy. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. And I like how you describe what's going on generally, and it's basically the squeaky wheel, of the extrovert being the squeaky wheel. I already said that I am basically an introvert and was an introvert in my early growing up, chose to become an ambivert. I choose when I want to step up and shine. But I also know that for in-person events and even major online events, I have to schedule downtime immediately after. I mean, it goes right on my schedule because I am exhausted after that much togetherness. Yes. And I love doing community theater. And when a show is over, I have to have a couple of days of downtime, or I just feel exhausted. I really can't get motivated to do anything, but I give myself that grace. It's built into my system. It's not a guilt trip for me to do that anymore. Perfect. It's a self-care type thing.
Oh, that's so good to hear you say that. And really, we have to continue to be those role models, right, for the younger generation, because they're trying to do too much, I think, a lot of the time. But yeah, I'm an extrovert, way on this end of the scale. And I have actually calmed down so much. And now I take every single morning, for example, I meditate. I take an hour and a half alone time just by myself every morning to do my reading, my meditation, my exercise, all my self-care stuff. And it's so, so good. And it was always really important for me to acknowledge after a big event, oh, let's go out, let's party, let's dance, let's, But these days it's like after I've been talking all day with clients or whatever, I don't want anybody calling me. So we do change and we do more into the ambiverts. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting that you said that as an extrovert, you've chosen, because this is a choice. I think being an ambivert is
I
a
agree.
choice. And
Yeah.
I had never considered it from an extrovert's point of view, making that transition and choosing to be an ambivert too. What a wonderful self-care tip right there. I love that. Yeah.
Totally agree.
That's great. Anything you'd like to wrap up for us? I want to remind people to check the show notes for access to your freebie and your website and to reach out to you on social media. But what's that one big takeaway that you'd like to leave with?
So the one last thing I would say is so important, regardless of what personality type you are or what is your major human need that you need, is to ask. We need to ask for help, ask for what we need, ask for space, ask for boundaries, ask. If you are burnt out from cooking every single night, ask your partner or call up and ask somebody to bring you food, whether it's a restaurant or a friend. But the asking, we forget to ask. We think to ourselves, oh, well, they should know. Well, they should be able to tell that I'm like this. And it's not true. People cannot read your mind. They don't know what's going on. And if you're always smiling, then they don't know if you are in pain. So ask for what you need, and you will be a whole lot happier as you continue your path to personal growth and contribution.
Thank you for that, Maureen. And I can see that the ask is important for no matter what type of personality you have.
Indeed, it is.
It's just what we ask for may be different, and who we ask of that in support may be different.
Yeah, but certainly whoever you're living with, you can either set boundaries or ask for more of their time. So if you need significance, for example, it's really okay to just say, hey, if you could just recognize that I need a pat on the back once in a while for my accomplishment, and you'll get it. Is that what I'm saying? You could get your needs met a lot easier.
Yeah. There's a reason why my office door is closed. That's my signal that I need some time away.
Perfect. I love it.
Thank you so much for being here with me today. And I encourage the listeners and the viewers to check Maureen Ross Gemme out and her Emerge Leadership Academy. She's got some great things to share.
Thank you so much.
And this is Kat Sturtz closing another episode of Fast Action Fridays, reminding you that I will have another great guest next week. And until then, remember to keep rocking your unique path to success. Bye.